Episode 2, Scotland. The Hysbys project is a collection of my findings about the creatures who reside in the shadows. From the Telewith Teg hidden in the fog of your Widfer, to the Storworm lurking in the murky depths of the North Sea. I don't know who will be listening to these, but if you are, remember. Case number 0120120119. The discovery of the missing ship Atlas. Date of the incident is unknown, but the Atlas left her dock in the Rostock port in Germany on the 30th of April 1952. The ship's cargo is also unknown, just that it was destined for Bristol but never made it. A friend of mine works as a marine biologist and decided to take a dive on her trip to Scotland 6 months ago. That would be sometime in August. She spoke about how she saw the Dwarf Stain and found a massive German cargo ship between Hoy and Grimsay. The ship was retrieved in 2 pieces. It had been crushed in the centre with parts of the metal jagged and other parts melted. The only defining features was a small German flag at the helm and the name Atlas painted on the side. At least that's what is believed to be the name, as most of the paint had almost completely worn off. A cargo ship at the same size heading towards England was called the Atlas, and apparently the collection of remains that had stated that a crew member had called the ship by the same name. My friend very kindly gave me the crew member's diary for me to recall my findings, as she believes there is something more than just the ship crashed. I don't blame her. Matthias Kaiser, the crew member, is stated as being, just that, a crew member. From the casual look I had of the diary, many of the crew members didn't have specific roles, except for Captain Mark Stram and an unnamed navigator. The first entry is very basic, just explaining how excited he was to go on his first voyage, stating that Stram was so kind to give us all a chance. I guess most, if not all, the crew members were fairly new to sea life. 1st of May, Captain suggested we travel towards Scotland because that's the quickest route to Bristol. The navigator was confused, but Captain said that there were 2 Bristols, one in England and the other in Scotland. The English really have strange names. We all laughed. Tonight we all sat on the deck, drinking and singing, with the moon so bright and the stars just as bright. I saw one fall and made a wish. The entries are very dull and a bit basic, but on the 15th of May, Captain Schramm states the journey will take longer than expected, so the crew were on strict rations. Half a piece of bread and 3 orange pieces a day. Then, on the 17th of June, the rations decreased to just 3 orange pieces per day, and the entries are very sparse, and the ones that are here are barely readable. 26th of June, the hunger. She is a cruel and unforgiving mistress, but we will be okay. Captain keeps us safe, Captain keeps us alive, and Captain keeps us fed. He shows no sign of the hunger's disease unlike us. We're so weak, but Captain gives us strength. Not a huge fan of this Captain Stram. Sounds like an unhealthy work environment, personally. The next several pages are either damaged or covered in phrases like remember and Cullen to our Aster, which translates to you are able to hear Mons Meg from a long way off. Why a German soldier would write a phrase in Scottish Gaelic, I don't know. 13th of July. This will be the day that I die, and I regret everything. My little Astrid, I am so sorry. May I burn in hell for eternity for what I have done to you. No, what he did to you. We're not in Bristol, but in Scotland. It was all his plan. His sick and twisted plan. He starved and manipulated us. Made us believe this is one big adventure, tempting us with money and experience. And now I sit here, hiding away like a coward as the monster rips my shipmates into pieces and swallowing them like they would an orange piece. I don't know what it is, but it can't be real, can it? It's some horrifying creature, the villain in a fairy tale. It's not natural. The priceless cargo's little girls, they couldn't have been older than 9. They were that thing's dinner, and we brought them to their death, leading lambs to the slaughter. We stood by as that monster Stram grabbed the children one by one as they screamed, kicked, and then crunch, crunch, crunch. I deserve whatever cruel punishment that God has waiting for me. For whatever punishment I face, I die knowing that there will be a worse fate for that waste of flesh known as Mark Stram. As much as I would like to say that Mark Stram had faced the wrath that Kaiser hoped for, he didn't. There is a marriage certificate from 1955 to an Agatha Smith. The two of them must have moved from Hoy to Sheffield, as the birth certificate for their daughter Sarah Stram registered her birth as in the Yorkshire city. Other than that, there's not much I can say. The monster was most likely the Storworm, a massive sea serpent that lives in the sea close to the Orkney Isles. It's known to require 7 virgins and will lay its head upon beaches, breathing out poisonous gas, slowly killing the town until it is fed. However, the most interesting thing about Sarah Stram is that she moved to Birmingham for university, where she met and would later marry a Mr. Ewart Jones. End of statement. Recorded 10th of February 1998 at 7:30 p.m. Griffin? Yeah, what's up? Did you hear anything back from the police? Oh, yes. Turns out that woman isn't Faye Jones. She still had all her fingers. Right. But I'm sure the teller with Ted could, and her body was discovered in the River Trent 3 hours ago. How is that possible? No idea, but I have a question for you. Well, 2 questions actually. Go on. In the Faye Jones statement, you said that Ewart Jones was dead, but he isn't. I thought he was. He died April... He's not dead, Rowan. Second question, when did you know how to read German? I don't. What do you mean? It's in English, isn't it? Rowan, why would a German sailor write his diary in English? Well, I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. It's okay, get some sleep. I'll tell Rose you read the diary and I'll give her the recording next week.